Yes. Welcome to another video of me. In this video, I'm gonna give an update on 360Crafter. It's been a little while since I've provided an update. What's been going on here? And yeah, I'm very excited to show you the latest and greatest of things that I've been up to. So first of all, you can see that we have 360Crafter here in the browser, right? So you needed to log in and then you can create a workspace. You can say, okay, I go into 360Crafter Cloud, or I bring my own S3, and those were like kind of your two options. But I've been thinking, but wouldn't it be cool if I could just have this as an application that I can just download on my Mac and yeah, import panoramas instead of upload panoramas. So I've been doing that, and here you can see here in the top left, we're talking about like a native Mac application um, that looks more or less the same, uh, but there's differences that everything runs locally on your device without an internet connection, and that you can just work on your projects. So that's pretty awesome. And that means that when you create a workspace, that now you have, beside these two options, a local one. And with that, you can just have your workspace on your computer and get going with this. So yeah. And this also for Windows and for Linux is going to be relatively easy with the stack that I've been choosing here to build all this stuff with. But things I still need to test out, right? Without further ado, I've created a local workspace. So I called it Epic Workspace. I'm going to create a project. I call this New York. I hit enter. I find some panoramas over here. So I drop those in. I can just drop them anywhere in the screen. And it says, well, you want to compress. So no. It starts importing. It goes quite fast now. And you see that loading, like switching in between those panoramas, it goes super fast. So this used to be much slower, and that was definitely a thing where I was like, I need to fix that. So this stuff loads fast. Now, first thing people usually do is setting default views. So you can just say set default view like this. Okay, cool. And then you go here, like, okay, well, it's this building right here. Now you can click here, set default view, but you can also just right click, set default view, so like that. And over here, we can do the same thing. We can say, right, like there, set default view. So now when we navigate through, you see that we always focus on the building, so we don't lose our sense of navigation when we're building this for ourselves. Now, then what you can do is you can start dragging panoramas. So you can say, okay, New York 2 needs to be right there. I say SlideTo navigation hotspot, like a transition. So this is something I've been working on a lot to make that feel very smooth, and I'll show you in a moment. First of all, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And so I press Command click to just navigate there. Now this was not the smooth effect yet, but the smooth effect becomes more visible when you connect it back with the other thing. So now you'll see that when I click here, you land up exactly where you were looking at. And yeah, this is an effect that you do not lose your sense of navigation so easily. There might be still some tweaking to it, but more or less, like this has been quite a challenge, and I got it to work. So I'm really excited about this effect by itself already. Now let's go over here to New York 3, SlideTo. All right, navigate there. Now this one, yeah, we need to have a thing that goes back as well. Let's see, yeah. For some reason, I still need to figure out some logic here why this is happening, because the first one, the effect was very good, but here a little bit less. But you can see, you know, I added some hotspots here. So now what I would want to do is to say, okay, I make it a bit bigger. I add some border width to this, like 1 or maybe 1.5, a little bit more. I make this like this. And you can see how easy it is now to change the hotspot, right? This used to be very difficult because of like the mechanism I was using. I was using SVG hotspots, and now I'm using HTML hotspots. And with HTML, we have all this flexibility to change the border width, the outline, the border radius, the font color, the border style like this. I mean, this is all the good stuff. And you know, it took me a while to figure all the stuff out. Like, what are the techniques here to use to make this work? And now I got that to work also in the hotspot. So really excited about this. So I can now say, okay, add a little outline here, make this like 2 maybe, or 2.5. For some reason, yeah, okay. I made this white, but I don't want this to be white. I want to have a little bit of opacity here, something like this. And now it already starts to look much nicer, right? So now this was one of the things I thought was really like a big thing for me to figure out, like how to do the styling in such a way that I can easily update the style of many hotspots. So I'm going to call this style, I'm going to call this nav or navigation, right? I'll call this nav. Now I click on this other hotspot over here and look what happens. Here, nav, click, boom, the same style. And now when I click on this one and I say I want to change the color to something a little lighter or maybe a bit darker. Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. I make a change here. And here appears this button update. So I can update the style of nav. Yeah. I click this, boom, updated. And this throughout the whole project with all the hotspots that have this hotspot style called nav. Yeah. This is the stuff that excites me, guys. This is the stuff that excites me. Just to see all the stuff working out now. I'm like, yeah, man, yeah. Now you can see I have styling for the base and I have styling for the hover. So now I can also click on hover. I can say, okay, well here I want to have maybe the this color a little bit lighter. Okay. All right. I preview. Okay, so you see now I have this hover effect, great, but I don't have the hover effect here because I need to update the style, right? So update, preview, hover, hover. Yeah, yeah. That's how it's supposed to be, guys. That's how easy it's supposed to be. This is what I've been dreaming of. This is what I've been having in mind for so long to figure this stuff out, and I'm just so happy to see this stuff now, yeah, working itself out. And yeah, if I want to add an icon, I say chevron up. Okay, I have this one there. Now for the icons, I still need to manually do this. I need to think a little bit more about how I include this in the styles. But you know, it's getting there. It's getting there. So yeah, this about hotspot styling, on how to, yeah, have all these options over here. Uh, the ability to just change the size like this and that everything stays in its aspect ratio. But if you want to change that, then you can hold shift. You can, yeah, do something like this. I'm not sure in this case that makes sense. Probably not. So if you don't like it, Command Z, Command C, Command C, Command C, and it's just back. Command Shift Z, Command Shift C, Command Shift C, Command C, C, C. Yeah. Undoing, redoing. It all just works. It just works. It just works, guys. Oh man. Yeah. Let's see. What else I can show? So first I had also, like, I had style and I had actions over here in the hotspots. Now I moved the actions over here below each hotspot. So you have like the hotspot and then you have like action 1. But if you want to have action 2 added to it, say add confetti. Now you see, like, I have on New York Free Nav hotspot, I have 2 actions, link panorama and confetti. So it's like immediately visible there, and you can just add this. And my philosophy with designing this 360Crafter is to make you click as little as possible. Like that's what I want to get to. Like, yeah, that's so stuff that I have in mind to work on is, like, when I click on add interaction and I click on this add confetti thing, instead of having this huge pop-up, I just want to, like, have this as a little panel over here so that you don't need to go all the way over here to move with your mouse from here to here. I want it to be like close to the mouse. That's like my whole thinking of, like, okay, how to make it work, right? So the same is with adding multiple hotspots, right? I showed you how to drag and drop like this. You can cancel out pressing escape. Um, oh, but you can also click on add hotspot and then you can just draw a hotspot like this. Yeah, I like that. I've been seeing this in other tools and I was like, hey, can I do this too? And I can't. I'm just like, wow, you know, bam. So I have now the style as well. Well, with this border radius, it doesn't really make that much sense. So I override this style over here. Um, yeah, you know, like you can just go your own way. You can just clear the style if you don't like it anymore, and then everything turns blue. Oh, we still need to undo a few things here. Like how all the logic specifically works, there's still some space to debate things. Yeah. But yeah, this is the stuff I've been thinking of a lot. Yeah, we got so the preview mode I showed you, just instantly there. You don't need to wait for the preview to happen every time. I know how annoying that was. This is just instantly, you click here, you navigate, kaboom. Oh man, I got happy. I get so happy with this. This is not all. This is not everything yet. Yeah, then when you click on a hotspot, you see that we have the colors over here, and I've been using local colors so far. But you can also use project colors and workspace colors and have those from this small panel right away. You can add them. So you can say, well, I want over this whole 360 Creators project workspace, like I want this type of orange, I want this type of black, I want this type of font. Yeah, and I'm creating maybe 5 projects with my 360 Creator style to it. So I find all these colors and I put this in the style sheet and I can just start saying, okay, well, workspace colors, I make this orange, right? Something like that. Um, and I say primary, okay, add. And it adds this as the workspace color. And in a bit, I'll show you in another project, these workspace colors. So I'll say this is like the black, but it's not really black. It's like dark. Let's call it dark. Okay. So you can see you can hover over and the hotspot changes immediately visually so that you know like how it's going to look like. But if you decide to change the dark color in the workspace, you got to pay attention that this we change the color among other projects too. But when editing this, right, you can just say, okay, I want this to be a little bit more like this. And then that updates the colors throughout all your projects in that workspace, which is really awesome when you have 10 or 20 projects where you want to change the style. And that might not happen so often, but if it needs to happen, you can just do that. And that's the nice thing about it. And I can also say specific colors to the project. So maybe for a specific client within this workspace, I might want to do some other things. So I can say, well, I'll use this type of blue. And so you can see, okay, I have now this blue and I have these orange and this dark brown, right? Now, when I go here and I create a new project and I go to variables, you'll see that I already have those 2 colors that we just added in this other project. So, and that this blue color is not visible because this is a different project. That's on a project level and a workspace level. So in this way, we can also do this with sizes. So if we have border radius like a circle, then I usually do 999. I say add variable, and now I have this as a project. Now I would probably want to have this as a workspace thing. So I'll make it, I'll just remove this. Let's say circle 999 and add variable, and I have this like among all my projects in this workspace, which is nice. And the same with the font, and you can do the same thing here as well. So when I then go over here, I import a panorama. I have this one over here, and I make a hotspot. Now, when I have this over here, I can use the same primary color here, and I have this over here. Yeah. So that's kind of the idea of doing this with colors, with sizes, border radius. Here I now can also say, hey, I want to have the workspace variable circle, and I'll have this immediately there. So this is like the creative freedom that you get with your own numbers, with your own colors, with your own fonts, specifically to a project, specific to a workspace, and keep going, keep designing all these things. Now, something else I've been working on is well, this is still proof of concept. But this is kind of where I want to be moving towards too. I already shown a little bit of this. This was a bit buggy, but now it's better. It still flickers a little bit. And the idea here is that you can have different breakpoints to design accordingly for mobile, for tablet, and for large screens. This is still just the buttons showing different things. Technically, that still needs to be further worked out. Now, let's go to the skin. We can create a box, put that over here. We can add in some text. Can add in some text. Now this dropping text into a box, this used to be much more difficult, but now this is very easy to add this there. Yeah, there we go. And now we added 3 types of text in here. And what we'll do is now align this, maybe put this to the left side, add a bit of padding over here. Let's say only on the left, maybe 20 pixels. So now everything moves. Now I might want to add in a little bit of a gap. So like 10 pixels or maybe 5, maybe 3. No, I think 5 is good. I click on the text. I say this is panel 1, panel 2, and panel 3. So now, you have this stuff in there. You can say, okay, let's make this a bit bigger, give this a background color, all this stuff. This might still need a little bit more time. And then we can start adding in the actions to say, okay, I still have them over here on the right side. Link panorama, go to New York 1. And this one, the link panorama, go to New York 2. And then in the preview mode, I'm not entirely sure if this is going to work. No, not yet. I was still working on this, but I wanted to give a preview of the of where I am at right now. So yeah, just to give a feeling of, okay, this is what Ronald's been up to and what he's still going to be doing. Yeah, 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 and then we still have this other part. We can now say publish. We can say export. Hey, New York, you can see we've got some confetti, successful export. We say, okay, hit save. Now what we'll see is we get a zip file over here. We double click it. So this calls it New York. I'm going to say now New York video, because I got multiple things right now. And then over here, I do have my staging folder with my S3 bucket, but this can be your FileZilla. You upload the folder to your server. Wait a little bit till everything is uploaded, and then once that is there, I will say copy URL, open it, and here it is. So now we see the result. I think this used to be a circle, now it's a square. I mean, these little things I'm working out now. Yeah, and this still needs to be a little bit more optimized with the loading times, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Everything with its time. We got the hover effects working, so that's there. So yeah, that's a quick update here on everything. Hope you guys like it. Yeah, and see you in the next video.